It's time for a Humans in Tune conversation with Darren on 93.9 Mike FM.
Excuse me? Is this thing on? Stop the presses. Hold the phone. It's time to step up to the mic. Here's what's going on in your community.
Hey, kids. Darren, 93.9 Mike FM, and it's time for another Humans in Tune segment. We are excited. It's a beautiful spring day, and flying into the studio. Get my jokes? No, probably not. I have Captain Christina Ragain and Second Lieutenant Larissa Ragain with me today from our local Civil Air Patrol. And we're going to talk about some amazing stuff today. Larissa, Christina, I am glad you guys are here. I'm excited to talk about your accomplishments, but a lot of people, Civil Air Patrol has been around for a long time.
Yes,
this
sir.
is not a recent, this isn't like our 4-H club or something. You guys are learning a lot of things, leadership, developing leadership skills, physical attributes as well. Lots of work to put in, and you put in a lot of work. So let's talk about kind of what got you into Civil Air Patrol.
She used to be a cadet.
Right.
So
this is kind of a family
Yes.
family vibe going downhill here, yeah.
First she forced me, and then I really liked it, so I stayed with it.
Yeah.
And then I tried really hard to get the Billy Mitchell, so I succeeded.
Yes, and that's awesome. Billy Mitchell, for those of you who don't know, is kind of like the father of the Air Force. So, he's World War I, and he came back, I guess, founded after World War I or something like that. So around in there. My history knowledge isn't that great, but that award, let's talk a little bit about the Billy Mitchell Award. Kind of what's the requirements going into that? What are they looking for?
You have to have, PT. You have to do a really hard aerospace test. I'm not very good at aerospace, so that took me a while.
Yeah.
And a leadership test. Leadership is way easier for me, so that didn't take as long as it.
I feel like you're more of a natural leader, like those kind of elements come to you a little more?
Yes.
That's good.
Aerospace is really difficult for me.
Yeah, so what kind of questions they asking on the aerospace thing? Confuse me and confound me. Like, is it like physics things, mathematics? I'm assuming a lot of mathematics.
No, I don't think. No, there's not many mathematics. It's just engine stuff and
okay.
dates.
People.
Oh my gosh, so many dates.
History, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So rattle one off right now. Give me a random history date and time. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to quiz you like that because you've already passed that point, and you put in the work and have received this award. What's that award mean to you personally?
It means I tried and I put in a lot of work and I succeeded.
Yeah, vindication for the work you put in, right? And it does take a lot of work, and it's not just, prepping for a week before like it's a pageant or something. I mean, you're putting in the work all the time year round, right?
I studied a lot.
Mm-hmm. So what's kind of some of the things you guys do? How often do you get together as, I guess, what's
Squadron.
Squadron. Okay,
Yeah.
so how often do you guys get together to train, all that kind of thing?
So we get together once a week, and then we also go for events for the wing.
Okay. So you guys are cranking it pretty good. I mean, how does that? As I'm sure you have a life outside of that too. As far as school and things like that. How do you keep that all balanced?
I work a lot, so
yeah,
it's really difficult. But my work is very helpful whenever I take off, so it's not as hard as it would be if my work wasn't very helpful.
Yeah, for sure. Well, yeah, it's great to have a boss that cooperates, but I'm sure they see what you're doing. I mean, if I was your boss and I saw you working on your leadership skills and developing, this work ethic that's way up here, I'd be pretty glad to, allow that to happen because that's an asset to me as a business owner too. So, so leading up to this award, lots of studying, lots of work that you're putting in. How does that process work? How do you lean into it and apply and all that kind of stuff?
You don't really apply.
Okay.
You have to go through a lot of different achievements. Yes, achievements. I think it's 8.
Yeah, so the Billy Mitchell is at the end of phase 2, and it's kind of a cool capstone award. So there's 4 phases to the cadet program.
Okay.
And it's often compared to the Boy Scout Eagle Award.
Okay.
And after completion, it is actually one of the places where you can kind of earn rank in the military as a cadet within Civil Air Patrol. So if you go into any armed forces that is not the Air Force, you get an extra stripe as an NCO.
Okay.
For the Air Force, you would get 2. So it's actually kind of a neat place as a commander where I get to potentially give a military promotion, which is kind of a unique situation.
Yeah, for sure. And, and as a mom, that's a little pin in your hat to be able to present that to your daughter as well. Now, is there scholarship opportunities with this and things like that as far as through not just the award, but through the Civil Air Patrol, for, if you decide to go to OCS or something like that after you're
There
finished with
are
school?
scholarship opportunities. They're hard to get.
Mm-hmm.
I forget. There's I think 2 people have gotten it that I know of right now.
Yeah, so there's different scholarships through the program. There's scholarships to do things within it. There's scholarships for college, although there aren't a whole lot of those.
Right.
There are also scholarships for getting flight time and earning your pilot's license. And so
That's what I was going to ask, yeah.
There's definitely different processes for each one. A lot of them are highly competitive, so it's going to be there's going to take some steps to get there and make yourself competitive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm sure, receiving that award, also the, AFSA Cadet of the Year award. AFSA is Air Force Sergeants Association. So you've received a Cadet of the Year award for the Missouri Wing, which your squadron's a part of in the North Central region. You're a finalist for the National Award. That is a very cool deal as well. Let's talk a little bit about that. What comprises Cadet of the Year?
I don't actually know.
You fight they put you in an octagon, and the last woman standing is the one that takes the cake, right?
No, so what I probably did was whenever I was a senior airman, I was the highest ranking in my squadron. So I had to build my squadron from scratch because everyone left, and she was in charge.
I guess it'd be kind of akin to, a senior level at a basketball team or something where you're like, I'm team captain. I got to rebuild my team. We've got people coming in. I don't know what their skill sets are, their strengths, their weaknesses. So you probably had to kind of take and again, with that leadership role, really evaluate everybody that was coming in and put them in the best spot and, help to strengthen their weaknesses and so forth.
Yeah.
So a lot of work.
Recruitment and retention was really difficult because no one, people call Civil Air Patrol the Air Force's best kept secret. So it's no one knows about Civil Air Patrol, so we had to go to different places. Mm-hmm. And we went to where did we get
Movie theater.
Yeah, movie theater.
Okay.
And we got some people from the movie theater.
Yeah.
We did a info table at the release of the Top Gun Maverick movie.
Ah.
So that was kind of fun. But we were there for a really long time.
That's awesome, though.
Yeah, it was a really long time.
Well, and now, there's the program at the university that you can, do a pilot's program and go through all of that at SEMO.
ROTC.
Yeah. So how does CAP relate to ROTC? Is there kind of a furtherment if you go into college that you can move up into Air Force ROTC through college? Or
So, I don't actually know the answer to that question.
Yeah. So the cadet program in Civil Air Patrol is similar to the cadet program for JROTC.
Okay.
Better. We're better.
There you go.
Civil Air Patrol has 3 missions. So we have aerospace education, emergency services, and the cadet program. So a lot of our cadets get involved in our real-world missions of emergency services and the aerospace education. So in a lot of ways, we're ROTC plus these real-world missions.
Right.
And so that's one of the sort of big differences. And as a former cadet, I absolutely love being involved in emergency services. I think she takes after me in that too. There's something exciting about having the ability to go out and help other people that you don't have with a normal JROTC program. There's a lot of the leadership, a lot of the aerospace that they learn as cadets is very similar. The curriculum is developed by the Air Force, so a lot of overlap. There's quite a bit of overlap in the leadership even to ROTC.
Right.
But a lot of our cadets do apply for scholarships. We have some cadets we know from around the wing who have gotten ROTC scholarships, so they're usually very competitive for them. and then they go on to further their career and then go into the Air Force or other armed forces as they're interested.
So there's also like if you are in junior ROTC and you're in Civil Air Patrol, I think it's like 9 months.
So you can actually decrease the time between your promotions. So it's a semester in ROTC decreases it for phase 1, or I think it's 1 year in JROTC, or one semester in ROTC decreases it for phase 1. Then if you've been in longer, you can decrease your time between rank for phase 2 or phase 3.
So you can kind of fast track things to get up there. That's cool. That's interesting.
I joined junior ROTC, but I didn't like it enough to stay.
Gotcha. But you felt like this was where you belonged at the end of the day.
It was way too much aerospace for me, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah. Now, have you done any flight time yet? Have you been pursuing any of that?
I've done like O flights, which is like whenever you go up in a airplane, and yeah. Did
you enjoy it? Yeah. That's not your thing. But well, let's talk a little bit about the service side of things. So that's a lot of hands-on stuff. So let's talk a little bit about what you've been able to do through that. Do you have what would be a recent example of some of that service work that you guys have been able to do?
So we actually have we're trying to get your ground team ready, which is whenever you actually go and find missing persons, downed aircrafts. There's not that many of those anymore because it's
fortunately, right?
Yeah, it's a good thing.
Oh darn, no word for that. Yeah, no, that's a good thing.
Help with tornadoes, you help with hurricanes, you help with
kind of similar to a Red Cross or National Guard response unit where they would kind of go in and stage out and just kind of help.
Except for we're all children.
Right, yeah.
Well, I mean, it's not just the cadets who go out.
Yeah.
So we are activated under another organization typically. So so when you have a lost person, usually either the city and or the emergency response, if they're
Sheriff's Department or
somebody is going to reach out through Civil Air Patrol, and there's a process to get us activated for us to go and help. But we're trained to do things like line searches and different search and rescue.
Because they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, that makes sense. In in situations like that, they just almost at that point they just need as many bodies that understand how it works as possible, like a line search. I mean, if you can't have gaps, right? So
the one thing that we get sort of, I wouldn't say self-deployed, but the CAP deploys directly is the down aircraft. Okay. And so that is the one thing that we are the primary organization on. And luckily, like I said, that doesn't happen too terribly often. But it does happen every once in a while. And that can be an actual aircraft down or an ELT signal or just a missing aircraft. So there's reasons why ELTs sometimes go off without it being a down aircraft, hard landing, or if somebody ends up changing their flight plan and doesn't communicate that with their family, sometimes we can be activated to respond to that as well.
I got you.
It's also like when someone goes missing in the woods, because we know how to navigate woods. We know we have 24-hour packs. For going into the woods.
Kind of ready bags that are just, That's awesome.
For surviving in the woods.
So, as a cadet, you've got these service elements, and we talked about how this was kind of that akin to an Eagle Scout level. What kind of personal investment have you made into your cadet work, your education, to kind of get yourself above the bar? How do you feel like you've pushed yourself extra hard in some things?
Like I said, I literally built my squadron up from scratch.
Yeah.
I did all the recruitment. I helped people stay.
You mentored a lot of people.
I mentored a lot of people.
And what grade are you in school now?
I'm in dual enrollment, so I'm in college, but I'm also in high school. I don't know what...
You're a junior.
Technically a junior?
Yeah.
At least until May or so?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I have a daughter that's going to be a freshman next year, and she's kind of like you. She's into it. She's a go-getter. She's digging in. She rocks. But for, a freshman that, and I don't know what age you guys start with. 12 years old. So, you got a incoming 7th grader that's interested in being a part of this. How do you reach them, or how would they reach you if they want to reach out and say, I'm interested in this. I saw Larissa on Facebook. It went viral. Poke, nudge, nudge, go. No. But I saw Larissa. I want to know more about Civil Air Patrol. How do they get involved?
So we meet on Thursdays at 6. at the Armory
Okay.
in Cape Girardeau. So
Thursdays at 6.
Thursdays at 6 at the Armory at Cape Girardeau.
And I know you guys have got a website. It's not. We're not going to rattle off the .gov website and all that stuff. We'll stick it in the comments, though, to make it easy. But you guys are on social media as well. I mean, we all got to be here, right? And here we are on Facebook Live. So, they can reach out that way, I'm sure, and send you a message. But for someone who is interested in this, and, maybe it's a kid who doesn't have parents that were involved with Civil Air Patrol or really any military background whatsoever. It's just something that, maybe they saw an internet video and said, "Oh, that looks cool. I want to wear a uniform. I want to earn some stripes. I want to earn some pins. I want to do those things." What kind of message would you give to a kid that has that fire?
I'm sorry. What do you mean by that?
So, just what would you tell a kid? Say you're in the middle of your recruitment, right, for your squadron. So, what would you say to bring that interest forth out of a kid? What kind of?
I would just tell them, how the organization works. I would ask them what they're interested in, and if they're interested in the things that we do, I would tell them what we do and how we do it. I would also ask them, what is it called? Sorry. I would also ask them if they have ever wanted to go to the military, because if they did, I would tell them about the Billy Mitchell Award and that they would have the stripes if they got it, and if they've ever wanted to fly a plane, I would also tell them. We try to get to cadets within the first 90 days, so we try to get them up in no flights. Yeah.
Now, do you guys go out to Cape Junior High? Do you go out and kind of get the opportunity to talk with kids?
We don't really go to schools because it's really hard to get into schools.
Well, and imagine being in school, that's
I'm homeschooled.
For yourself. So, I
am homeschooled.
And I know junior high, they'll have that kind of beginning of the year roundup that they do. So there might be a chance for you to toss a table out there or something like that. But I think it's a really cool opportunity. And again, you had familial interest in this, but how did you get into it when you were a kid?
So my best friend found out about it. I'm not totally sure how she ended up learning about it,
right.
But she basically dragged me to a meeting. We did our first emergency service training out in the woods, and I was hooked.
Yeah,
there was no going back. Somehow freezing in the middle of the winter and learning about emergency services sounded fun.
Yeah.
Looking back, it seems almost strange, but it was an immediate fit. I just really, really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
For
you
me,
feel like you're more of a fixer type of person? Is that what appealed to you? Was that hands-on ability to help?
I think it really was that learning how to help people, having the ability to go out and do line searches or respond to a disaster of some sort. I just thought that was empowering in a lot of ways. I learned a lot of self-confidence through the program.
Yeah.
I think it helped me get where I am today. So I have 2 advanced science degrees. Some of my friends went on to be engineers, some went on to be pilots. I have one friend who ended up being a JAG lawyer, so he was in my original cohort. It's one friend who got his PhD and his MD, so it's
nice.
A lot of them went on, and a lot of us, if you'd met us and before we got into this program, we didn't have the confidence that it would take to go on to do those things. So It really gave us the skills we needed to go on in our lives and pursue what we wanted to do.
I would say that Civil Air Patrol really gives you confidence and leadership skills.
Yeah. And that is, you're right, that is absolutely critical, because you can dream about doing some things, but, if you don't get that first step or you don't have the confidence to make that first step. And it was fortunate for you that peer pressure posted on you a little bit and dragged you out, but immediately, and I think that's the case for a lot of kids, is when their hearts and their minds are opened up to an opportunity like that and they can see it in action, they can feel it in action, and they start getting passionate about it. Man, what amazing stuff you could do. And there are some awesome careers that you can, take this development and pursue, like the ones you mentioned your friends went into. If you're watching one of the, the way the world is going, lots of wildfires, things like that, there's pilots that are doing fire patrol stuff. There's guys out in Yellowstone that are flying, looking for people that lost hikers, things like that. So there's a lot of opportunity for some pretty cool careers as you go through it.
Also in Civil Air Patrol, you'll have a lot of friends. Those people will help you a lot.
Well, and that's what a squadron's about, right? That camaraderie and building each other up and working as a team to accomplish those big goals.
Yes.
That's awesome. And I'm sure that, you put in the work and you've received these awards, but I'm sure that, it takes a squadron to get you there. So
Yeah.
that's awesome. So you've got the Billy Mitchell Award, and you've got you're a finalist now for the National Award. When is that determined?
June or July.
Okay.
I think that's as much detail as we got.
That's all.
Right,
June or
right.
July.
Hey, you're a finalist. We'll let you know something this summer.
Yeah.
Go be a good human. Yeah.
I
got
don't know when the national conference is.
It's in August.
So
Okay.
it'll be before August.
Yes, before they announce it, hopefully. Yeah. Well, that's awesome. I think it's great that you've accomplished these things, and we look forward to seeing, what the next steps are for you and to see how far you soar as far as that goes. Thank you guys so much for coming on with me today.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
you.
absolutely. It is Christina and Larissa Ragain. We appreciate you guys being here. You can learn more about the local Civil Air Patrol. Again, we'll post the link in our comments on the Facebook Live video, or you can find more info at 939mikefm.com. And this is Darren. Thanks again for tuning in for another Humans in Tune segment. We will see you on the next one on 93.9 Mike FM. And if you want, you can listen on the podcast anytime, as well as catch the video on the Facebook page, podcaster at 939mikefm.com. See you next time.
Thanks for catching this Humans in Tune conversation with 93.9 Mike FM. Find previous interviews on our Facebook page, or you can listen via our podcast at 939mikefm.com.